Lights are what you use to make your 3D comps come to life. You can add shadows, you can change the color of the light, and even the light type. So in this part, let's talk about the different types of lights. What I'm going to do first of all, as you have to when you create a light, is you have to do it on a 3D enabled layer. So I'm going to go where it says Hannibal.png, and once again initiate the 3D by clicking right here. Now I can simply right click anywhere here, for example, choose New, Light. The Light Settings dialog box appears, and it gives us, well, a lot to choose from. We can name our light if we want to, and typically when I'm doing 3D lighting, I'll call it like a rim light if it's going to be in the background, a key light for the main light, a fill light for an additional light, just like traditional lighting. But you don't always have to do that. Sometimes one light is all you need. For example, you want to do a torch animating, or a flashlight, or something like that. So in that case, you would name it flashlight or spotlight or whatever you need to. Here we can change the type of light. We have several lights in here, range from parallel, which is kind of like a fluorescent tube light, a spotlight, which is the kind of light you'll find on Broadway shows and the stage where we have a cone. We have a point light, which gives us a little dot which emanates light, and an ambient light, which gives you a color cast. And we'll talk more about these guys in just a minute. So for now, we'll keep it on spot. We can also change our intensity or the power of that light, the cone angle, which we'll talk about in a second when we see the spotlight, the cone feather, which is the softness of that cone, and the color. You can either choose the color by clicking on this swatch here, or you can grab the eyedropper tool and click anywhere inside of your document to change the color of that light. I can also turn on cast shadows, which we'll cover in the next part. So for now, I'm going to make this light a bright green and hit OK. And as you can see, we have our light. It's hard to tell from this angle, so once again, I'm going to just go ahead and go to a custom view, and I'm going to zoom in so we can see that light. This is our spotlight. A point light lives at the bottom here, and it emanates through this cone shape. We can also move that spotlight to change how it interacts with our object. Now, if you're not happy with this light type, don't worry about it. You can double click on the light name down here, and it will reopen the light settings. I can also twirl open my light, and you'll see that I have light options here, and I can change it to something else like a parallel light, a point light, and the ambient light. Now, as I mentioned, an ambient light is the light that's emanating across everything. So imagine you're in a movie theater and the movie's about to start. And you see that little preview that says don't smoke and that kind of stuff. Well, let's say that preview is like orange. So now everything in the theater has a little bit of an orange tint to it. And let's say there's a horror movie playing, all right, and there's a ghost and it's colored red and it covers the whole audience. You get this red tint. You can also use an ambient light for settings. So when you're in a cold environment, use a cooler light source, like a blue color. When you're in a tropical or a desert environment, use a warm light source, like an orange or a very bright yellow. So that is a little quick look at how we can use the lights inside of our comps.